During World of Warcraft's 20-year span of being one of the most popular MMOs to exist, it had many expansions with even 2 more already announced. One of these expansions is Cataclysm, and it added a shitload of stuff to the game, such as completely revamping all of Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, drastically changing zones due to the destruction of Deathwing and changing the zone's stories to fit with these new times.
What the hell is even that?
And some of them were definitely some stories of all time.
Am I a murderer, Kromgar?
No! Wajib!
You are dismissed!
Even added some cool ass raids like Firelands where you can just beat the shit out of Ragnaros in his own home. Blackwing Descent where you get the best title in the entire game.
Slayer of stupid, incompetent, and disappointing minions.
I really wish this was a permanent title. And hey, you even get to fight zombie dragons in there. Except you. Dragon Soul fucking sucks.
I am the beginning of the end. The shadow which blots out the sun. The bell which tolls your doom. For this moment alone was I made. Look upon your death, mortals, and despair. The hour of twilight.
You know, I got his mount for like the first time I ever killed him, even before I knew what fucking raid was. And I was just running around the entire game like I was a chicken with my head cut off. The only good thing about this raid is the fact it literally has Keanu Reeves in it. Anyway, more on what was introduced in Cataclysm. Another thing they added is 2 new races, one for each faction, that being furries and gnoblins. With the latter having the longest possible starting area in the entire game, and it's a fucking trip. But the expansion also had a really big part in the story as a whole for the game. Well, actually every expansion does. Except this piece of shit. But still. Cataclysm was a big part in showing the start of Garrosh's control over the Horde. Even the beginning of Rathian too. But only for rogues. But one of the characters introduced in this expansion outshines all others by a long shot. And that character is Lord Vincent motherfucking Godfrey. The absolute best character to ever come out of the Warcraft series. Now unfortunately, this beast of a man only appears in 3 areas in the whole game. This being the starting area phase of Gilneas for Worgens. Oh yeah, forgot to mention the furries are called Worgens. And in Silverpine Forest and the Cataclysm revamp of the dungeon Shadowfang Keep. Oh, also in the comic book Curse of the Worgen, which takes place before and during the assault of Gilneas by Worgen. Lord Godfrey was one of the lords of Gilneas. He was also the person who convinced Greymane to build the Gilneas Wall, sealing the city from the rest of the Eastern Kingdoms. Just as long as you don't use boats. From the comic book, Godfrey and some of the other nobles, along with Greymane, would also go and hunt the Feral Worgens that haunted the area outside of Gilneas. Now in the comic book, Godfrey is not really shown all that much, and from what is shown in it, can also be seen in game. But anyway, I think that is shown pretty much throughout the whole of the series of World of Warcraft is that Greymane's kind of like a little bitch. Days before the Worgen attacked Gilneas, there were multiple murders in the city of people and animals. Godfrey asked Greymane, "Hey, what the fuck should we do about these Worgens that are terrorizing us?" And Greymane said, "Oh, let's just set a curfew." Yeah, I'm sure a curfew would stop the feral, blood-hungry, super strong wolfmen. So Godfrey demanded some men and just go guns a-blazing on the furries, calling Greymane a little piss baby in the process. So during the actual game, Greymane first appears in the military district of Gilneas and gives quests. Yada yada, you get bit. You become a Worgen and a first act or something. Right before you turn into a Worgen, cutscene plays and we see Godfrey again. And this is honestly one of my favorite cutscenes in the entire game. I don't really get why we didn't get to see this model of him in-game. They only used it literally once. After that cutscene, he suggests putting it, the player, down, and Greymane intervenes and let the player live. After that, we next find Godfrey in the basement of a building giving quests to help fight back the Forsaken, and after trying the quest, the entire area just flooded instantly somehow. For some context, right after the Worgens attacked Gilneas, the Forsaken started to attack too. All while I think Deathwing's effect on Azeroth's terrain is starting to take place as well, hence why the southwest part of Gilneas is just falling apart and flooding. Anyway, after the flood, everyone evacuates to Greymane Manor. Greymane talks to a player or something, and then everyone evacuates again, except this time to Storm Glen Village. Except you. Don't you know? You're the player character. Now go help this guy, he's just gonna die later. After the player does whatever, they too go to Storm Glen Village. Get told to kill spiders or something. You see a night elf, and she invites you to join her little fur con they got going on in the spooky dooky forest. You do quests so you gain your human form back, and when you turn them in, a little roleplay scene plays with Greymane, Godfrey, and a Worgen named Darius Crowley. And Greymane's like, hey buddy, oh pal, let's team up. As you know, we're one of the same, and we both fight for the Alliance. And Crowley's like, nuh-uh, you're just a human now unlike us, referring to his pack of furries. And Greymane reveals that he too has a fursona. After seeing this, Crowley agrees to help because bros gotta stick together. Except one bro did not. Everyone travels back to Storm Glen Village, and because Greymane and Godfrey are rich, they take a horse carriage to Tempest Reach, while you, the poor, have to walk your way there. On the way there, just before the bridge, we find Krenin Aranus, who was the naked guy we saved on a horse, and the one behind making the captured Worgens, like you, that's crazy, or something like that. And Krenin's like, dude, what the fuck? I was just minding my business, listening to my AirPods, when out of nowhere Godfrey pulled out a fucking gun, and was saying something to Greymane. I couldn't hear because, you know, AirPods, and he just fucking kicked me out on this bridge. Go tell him and his friends to go fuck themselves, and I'll give you a hat. Okay, I'm just kidding. Partially. During their Uber ride, Godfrey threatened Greymane with offering that if they give the Forsaken what they want, then they'll stop attacking Gilneas. And what they want is Greymane's fursuit. Krenin was like, no, and Godfrey just tossed him out. Anyway, the player goes and kills Baron Ashbury and Lord Walden, and you even get the latter's hat. And you just appeared out of nowhere next to Godfrey, who's holding Greymane at gunpoint. Greymane's like, you're outnumbered, Godfrey. Let's just be friends and forget about this. Please. Rather than having a furry for his king, Godfrey leaps off the ledge of the cliff and dies. The end. Now, if you were paying attention, and I know you weren't, you know that I mentioned Godfrey appeared in 3 areas in the game. We're on to Silverpine Forest, baby. Now, the Gilneas area is purely for the Worgen players. Silverpine Forest's story, in Cataclysm, is for Horde players, meaning both of the factions could experience the wonder that is Lord Godfrey. So Godfrey doesn't actually appear until like over halfway into the story of Silverpine Forest, where you, don't forget now, Horde, and Valkyr are tasked with bringing back the 3 noblemen who oppose Greymane's Worgenness, and those 3 being, you guessed it, Baron Ashbury, Lord Walden, and Lord Godfrey. You also give them some pretty good drip too. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, up until writing the script, I've never done the Silverpine Forest quests. I mean, it's pretty obvious I'm an Alliance player, and anything Horde I've only touched is fell for Azeroth's Zandalar. And even then I didn't read much of anything there. I'm purely getting everything I've written from the WoW Wiki, so bear with me if I miss or get anything wrong. Okay, back to the actual thing. So you, along with 3 noblemen, because I'm not saying their names every goddamn time, go and burn down Pyrewood Village to make those who are retreating there to back off. You also get to save the Forsaken who are being cowards, and Godfrey just fucking shoots like 4 of them for being pussies. You can also get quests by killing the crocolists around the area to rebuild some guy's body and bring him back only for Godfrey to just fucking kill him. And like, the best part of this quest is that I just never explained how this guy got eaten by crocolists at all, since it was assumed that all of Gilneas after the Worgen assault became Worgens themselves. But Worgens can't become Forsaken/undead, which is shown during the quest around Fenris Isle. So did this guy just somehow evade every Worgen in the way only to get eaten by fucking crocolisks? Also, fun fact, the crocolisks in the game have 6 legs. Bet you didn't know that, huh? After that, Sylvanas orders the nobleman to kidnap Crowley's daughter and hold her for ransom, threatening to kill and raise her into undeath unless Crowley and his men retreat from Silverpine Forest and Gilneas. Crowley, being a bitch baby, agrees to the ransom and saves his daughter. After Crowley and co run away, Godfrey just straight up kills Sylvanas with a fucking shotgun. Where did he get it? Where did he keep it if he had it this whole time? Did he just pull out his ass or some shit? Also to mention, Godfrey is one of the 2 characters to actually kill Sylvanas, with the other being the fucking Lich King / Arthas. Though, unfortunately, she is brought back, and because of this we got Shadowlands. Boo these Valkyr. Fuck you guys, dipshits. He's also one of the 2 characters to call Sylvanas a bitch along with Garrosh.
Watch your clever mouth, bitch!
But they removed that part because some Blizzard employee's kid saw the Garrosh call her a bitch. I mean, how dare bitch be used in the rated T for teen games. After committing murder on the bitch, I mean Banshee Queen, Lord Godfrey and his 2 other men run away and take over Shaofeng Keep to be permanently stuck as a dungeon boss for the rest of time, unless they revamp the dungeon again. So obviously there's 2 options we can do for Godfrey. His human or undead form. Considering all the cool shit he does is while he's undead, we'll be doing that one. The hardest thing to pinpoint is his class, because it honestly just seems like a bit of a mess. From the start he uses guns, so the obvious choice would be Hunter, right? Marksman to be specific since he doesn't use any pets. Or we could do Outlaw Rogue. They got guns and shooting abilities, and besides, Hunters don't really use pistols, they just use rifles and bows. Except for the fact he summons ghouls during his fight, a thing only Death Knights can do. So he'd be Death Knight, right? Double, except the fact that his fucking attire is a recolor of the cloth Cataclysm set which rules out all of those. What in the absolute fuck? However, there are 2 options we can choose from that can actually wear cloth. The first one being is that during the parts of Silverpine Forest where he and the other 2 lords follow you during quests, Godfrey actually uses fire mage spells such as Firebolt and Not Blazing Barrier. The other option is Warlock simply because he, for some fucking reason, appears as a Warlock skin in Hearthstone. I'm just gonna go with Fire Mage. So I guess the first order of business is to get his look. It shouldn't be too hard considering Cataclysm is what? 10 years old? Oh. Wait, no. It's 14. Fuck. Anyway, with my Warlock freed from Pandaria Remix Hell, we can take a look at the transmog list to find the set Godfrey uses and how to obtain it. So, the exact set that Lord Godfrey uses isn't obtainable. Guess we'll just have to make do with one of the 3 that share the same model that looks the closest, which to me would be the Vicious Fireweave set. It says that the chest and helmet can actually be bought from a vendor, so let's go find that NPC. I traveled all the way to Vestir and used the very situational unending breath ability that Warlocks get for some reason, only to find out it's locked behind rep. Probably should have looked that up beforehand, but oh well. Though, the way to get the other pieces as of the set as a whole was through a profession, specifically tailoring, which I've never done. I went back to Orgrimmar and learned tailoring and found that I need to get to level 75 before I can actually learn and craft the set. I looked up a guide on how to get the profession to max level, and I went to the Bastion of Twilight raid to farm materials. After getting them in a purple BOE trinket, nice, it didn't sell well. I started crafting after a quick hearth because I forgot to train Cataclysm tailoring recipes. After having to go all the way to Silvermoon for an actual bandage trainer, then I can start crafting. Then I went to Azshara to learn a better bandage recipe, and finally, after even having to go back to Bastion of Twilight to get even more materials, I got to max tailoring level. Now that we've learned every recipe, it's time to grind for even more materials. Yay. After seeing how slow Warlock is at basically anything farming wise, I just hopped on my druid to make things faster. But after all of that, I was finally able to make the set. Now all is left is to make the character. But then I went and bought the red variant to see if that set's any better. And after inspecting, the purple and white does still overall better than the red one. I also bought the white and gold one. And now all we have to do is make the character and level him enough till he can get gear he can transmog. Basically just level 10 and buy the cheapest shit off the auction house. 10 because I never had enough of the trader tenders to buy the transmog toy, so I just have to stick to the Grand Expedition Yak. Also to learn flying. I don't really want to walk everywhere. So I made the character and tried my best to speed level in Tirisfal Glades. Could I have just done the new player starting zone introduced in Shadowlands, and would that have faster anyway? Probably, but I don't really like it all that much, so I just went to death knell. Oh, I guess we're already done with that then. Well, anyway, after getting a quick small loan of $1 million, buying a helmet and shoulders off the auction house, a quick level up to actually be able to use the helmet, then going all the way back to Orgrimmar and getting on a yak, I have finally done it. I've become Lord Godfrey. I also made his Gilneas outfit the best I can out of the transmogs I already had. And damn, it feels amazing. Subscribe.